NBA playoff preview of your two conference finals, the NBA semifinals, as we take a look at the odds at mybookie.ag. Where you use the promo code Duffy, D-U-F-F-Y, you'll get the biggest sign-up bonus allowed. Now, mybookie.ag, as of now, does not have a Golden State Houston price, although other sports books that I've seen that I do use and have been approved at offshoreinsiders.com have Golden State minus 200. And as you can see, Cleveland is down to a 275 favorite against Boston to win the series. I had seen it earlier at as high as 400, and the game one sees Cleveland laying 2 with a total of 205. And for the Houston series, Houston a very modest 1-point favorite with a total of 224. Let's take a look at both of these series, and in fact, you can also take a look at some of the other options that you got at mybookie.ag, again using the promo code Duffy, and I am sure by the time Sunday comes around, they will have the Western Conference where you can bet on the exact results. The Celtics and the Cavs. One of my biggest questions here is, can Al Horford keep it up? Is he really, truly a late bloomer? But the advanced analytics that I'll be honest with you, I questioned before the Philadelphia series, did say that he played some of his best against Philly, and he matched up well. So maybe it really is a matchup. I still have my doubts whether he can continue to play at such a high level against Cleveland. I've seen this guy play many, many years, and he's, usually has been known where he can get pushed around a little bit and isn't really as effective in the playoffs as he is during the regular season, but you cannot argue with anything he's done in the playoffs so far. He's been tremendous. Jaylen Brown, he should be pretty healthy with a couple extra days off. He's been outstanding. He dominated Ben Simmons in the last round. Jason Tatum, I've talked so much about maybe this year would be a turning point when you can actually have young players as your star and really contend for the NBA title. And, of course, the team that was at the top of my list, I was thinking the Philadelphia 76ers, of course, with Embiid and Simmons. But of course, how well Donovan Mitchell played for the Utah Jazz, but the last guy standing and the guy who's played the best is Jason Tatum, who, of course, was given away by the Philadelphia 76ers. They got nothing in return. Markelle Fultz, I've got my doubts whether he'll ever be a player in the NBA. Mind you, it's too early, and that's another topic altogether, but Boston, boy, they got Jason Tatum and a first-round pick for a guy who has not done squat. Marcus Smart, for Boston, he's much like Tristan Thompson on the other side of the ball. He can be excellent when he's at the top of his games. Both of these guys could be an enigma, but Marcus Smart has been tremendous. So, forget about the two big injuries that Boston has had. They still got a lot of talent there. And yeah, like everyone says, next year they're really going to be scary, but they're pretty darn good right now. Now, these teams met in the conference final last year, but both teams have really seen an overhaul. Only 9 of the 24 players from last season remain. And LeBron James, you probably, if you watch any of my videos, you certainly know about my Adrian Barbeau theory. I'm not going to look at depth as much as I am the top of the roster. You got to be top heavy, and there is nobody better than LeBron James. He's averaging a sick 34.3 points per game, 9.4 rebounds, 9 assists, 55.3% from the field. And the fact that they got out the broom against Toronto, he's going to be physically rested. He's averaged 9 points per game in the fourth quarter when the game's on the line. Now, we know there's really little doubt here. Brad Stevens, his strategy is going to be make the rest of the team beat them. His strategy will be to stop LeBron James. Now, of course, the game plan is one thing. Executing it is another thing. But I will say that Brad Stevens, I don't think you can overstate how good this guy is. I've expressed it before. It's a guy that took, a mid-major team to the national finals, Butler, in college basketball in consecutive years and almost beat Duke. This guy can flat out coach. He's done a remarkable job this year. Hard to believe the guy got 0 votes for the NBA Coach of the Year, although he's really shown in the playoffs how good he is. So if anybody can at least slow James down. Notice I said slow him down. I didn't say actually stop him. But I think that, LeBron James is probably the coach that he doesn't want to go against. Marcus Morris, he defended Ben Simmons well. By no means is Ben Simmons LeBron James. But if there is a legitimate, next LeBron James, it could be Ben Simmons. He's got that, all-around skill set. As I said, I'm not saying he's in that class, but as well as Morris played against him, you just never, ever know. This could be a series where LeBron James is, somewhat relatively neutralized. I really don't think it would be a major, the only reason that it would be an upset is because it's LeBron James. My love for him and my Adrian Barbeau theory is well known. Still, and I tell you time and time again, I do not like to make series bets or any type of futures bets because I don't want it to in any way bias my ability to make game-to-game adjustments. But I said it when Cleveland was an even bigger favorite, and I thought Boston was a pretty live underdog here. If you're asking me to make a pick, I would say Cleveland wins 4-3 at plus 450 would be my best bet at mybookie.ag. Now let's take a look at Golden State and Houston. As I said, MyBookie, they tend to be a little bit conservative as far as putting up the line. Some of the other approved sports books at offshoreinsiders.com put the lines up a little bit quicker. And as I said, Golden State is about a 2-1 favorite at some of the other sports books, but you can see they are a 1-point underdog with a high scoring game expected, 224. Of course, this is everything we expected. Every single person on earth thought this would be the conference finals, and it has turned out to be just that. Look, Harden and Paul, great 1-2 punch, again, fitting into my Adrian Barbeau theory, but the story of the playoffs for Houston certainly been Clint Capella. He's been a great two-way player, and he has emerged as a legitimate hell of a number 3 option. I mean, if he's your third best player, you're certainly going to contend for the NBA title. Mike D'Antoni did show that, if Golden State, if they do try to stop their pick and roll by clogging up the lane, he can go 5 wide, and his guards he'll try to get his guards in isolation. The big problem here, Golden State has some athletic guys who can defend the Harden-Paul combo. Thompson, Iguodala, Kevin Durant, who's athletic, can come out and guard Harden in isolation. So Golden State, I think, matches up well against Houston. Of course, it gets back to what I always say, whether it's football or, in any single sport, the more talented team always matches up well. And there aren't too many teams more talented than Houston, but Golden State is just that good. They are literally one of the most talented teams to ever step foot on a basketball court because Steph Curry missed so many games this year that, the records to say, look, they're much better than their record says. Plus, the Warriors already with the championships under their belt, they can do what the Spurs started just a couple years ago, where they can pace themselves during the regular season. They don't have to have that sense of urgency. So, just like Greg Popovich did it when San Antonio, during the San Antonio dynasty, or really at the end of the San Antonio dynasty, Golden State's one of those teams that I think pace themselves during the year. Plus, Curry did have legitimate injury. Which kind of belies the fact that, as I said, they are an all-time great team. Golden State should be the favorites here. Now, the Warriors are allowing just 6.6 points per possession on isolation in the postseason. So, Golden State's a better team, and I also think they do match up well. Warriors are better on offense, and I think the bigger gap is even on defense, even though Mike D'Antoni, not so much that his teams play better defense than D'Antoni's known for. He just doesn't play at that ridiculous pace that he used to. But that being the case, Houston is still a better defensive team than in previous years, not just because of the big addition, as I said, Clint Capella. And it really, I do subscribe to the Ewing theory. Heralibus Vulgaris, a noted gambler, kind of invented that, where he says that a team, once they lose their overrated star, they become a better team to bet on. Well, Dwight Howard's actually been going for a couple years, but I'm telling you, Houston is better with Clint Capella than they are with Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard might be a better individual talent. Told you he's never been good for chemistry. I've been saying it for years if you've been listening to my videos and podcast. If you want to have an overrated team, get Carmelo Anthony or get Dwight Howard on your team. And if you want to have the most overrated team of all time, get both of those guys on your team. So Houston is playing, I think, better team defense because of Capella. And the truth is, James Harden, look, we've seen so many low-light films where his lack of defensive effort in previous postseasons. He's putting in a lot more effort, though, in this postseason and even in the offseason where he, made the team get together for some quote-unquote optional workouts. He's really shown some leadership skills. So Houston this is certainly their best defensive team. And, yeah, it wouldn't be a monster upset, but I would actually look at Golden State, though, still winning. I think Golden State winning this in 5. I think they're going to win a lot of close games. Golden State winning this in 5 games, I think, would be a great exact series bet. And remember, there's a lot of other stuff that you can bet. Who's going to win the NBA championship. You can bet that at mybookie.ag. Not surprisingly, the Warriors are minus 210. Again, this is based on $100 per bet, so you got to risk $210 for if you want to bet on Golden State. Houston is next at plus 150. And Boston, at plus 1,500, maybe somewhat tempting because I do think that we focus so much on Boston's 2 big injuries and not the fact that they are so well coached. And they probably have a little more talent than we gave them credit for, myself included. I will definitely say, myself included very much. You can do some various player props at mybookie.ag. The guy who is going to score first in Game 1. So all kinds of prop bets. And we're recording this on Saturday. Probably on Sunday they will add some more props. But, which team is going to be the first to score 20 points or whatnot. You can bet on all this stuff at mybookie.ag. Again, please use the promo code Duffy. Not only does that mean you will get paid on time every single time. Well, use mybookie.ag, pays everyone on time. But if you use the promo code Duffy, you can also show your support for these free picks we give, for these podcasts. That says mybookie.ag. Please help making all this information free. And, those of you who have seen our tailgate parties, whatever, during football season, yeah, make sure you enter the promo code Duffy, D-U-F-F-Y. You'll get paid on time, and you will get the largest sign-up bonus that they are offering, usually 50% sign-up bonus, and it is money. You can bet right away. I don't like to do the complicated math, so I always take the default. Yeah, you deposit $1,000. You can bet with $1,500 right now using promo code Duffy, D-U-F-F-Y.